What's going on guys, Juice Reviews here, and in this video I'm going to be doing an album review of Playboi Carti's most recent record, Music. I don't know about you, but to me this is still very hard to believe that it's actually out. After all the waiting, the teasers, the chaos, his third LP is finally here. It's been over 4 years since his last record, and fans including myself have been eagerly waiting for this next record. Maybe it's my insanely low expectations, but this thing sounded way better than I thought it would. The production here is dense, blown out, full of rage. It's just total madness in the best way possible. So it's safe to say the first quarter of this album is straight fire, and it's really hard to find this kind of energy in modern day hip hop. Pop Out is an opener that really hits like a punch to the chest with this raw aggressive tone it has. Then there's Crush featuring Travis Scott. It mixes these urgent hi-hats with these creative sounding synths. However, the mixing on this thing is just all over the place. Like, you can barely tell where Travis ends and Carti starts on here. But yeah, this is definitely one of the album's weaker tracks. It almost kind of feels like an interlude. However, that dud should not bring this album down because you've also got bangers on here such as Ketamine. Well, it was called Ketamine, but now it's been rebranded as K-pop, and it really builds in tension. It has this classic Carti vibe, where it has this unpredictability to it, yet it's still somehow catchy. Then there's Evil Jordan, which was also one of the standouts from the earlier leaks. This track has a very, very interesting beat, and Carti has some interesting lyrics. At one point, he calls himself an emo thug. For a lot of people, this album won't live up to people's expectations, but it's not trying to be a Dialect 2. It's deliberately meant to sound messy and almost like a mixtape. The transitions are often abrupt, the mixing can be a little messy at times, but somehow it has this redeeming quality. It feels very creative and intentional. Kendrick Lamar even shows up on this thing and absolutely kills his features. Kendrick just slides on his beat in an unexpected, refreshing way in which he hasn't really done in years. And sure, I'll put my hands up and say that this record is by no means some type of deep, meaningful project. But this thing never really claimed to be like an introspective masterpiece. You've got tracks like Good Credit, a track that is both goofy and infectious, and whenever I listen to it, I just smile. It's just so goofy and enjoyable. I remember listening to it for the first time and I just couldn't stop grinning, and I think that's because a lot of these tracks feel very carefree. However, on the downside, there are definitely moments on this album where you wonder what type of mindset Carti was in. Like, for example, Opium Baby is a song that should probably be studied in a lab. Another example is Fine Shit, which is another mediocre track. But funnily enough, despite a couple of flaws, this thing really never loses its pace. It more so feels like that it's throwing ideas at a wall hoping for good ideas. There's also something strangely personal about this album, almost like a stream of consciousness from Carti. It doesn't feel planned like at all. And it's super clear that Carti is not interested in pulling off some type of conventional album sound. He wants to pull off his own aesthetic, his own ideas that very few rappers in the game will probably ever do. With the help of production through Mike Dean, Metro Boomin and Filthy, this album further proves that Carti is a visionary and one of the best visionaries in the game right now. His chaotic forward-thinkingness is really what pushes the boundaries here. Overall, this album is not perfect by any means. It's not as concise as Dialect, yet it's not as chaotic as Whole Lotta Red. However, I would say that this album is Carti's most personal album to date. If you want to check out music, I'd say go for it. It's a wild ride, but you should find some good songs that you will enjoy. For this album, I'm feeling an 8 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this album. What would you rate it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. If you want to read my written blog post of this album, go check out the link in my bio, and I'll see you guys in the next review.